Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, notice to the public. Board of Supervisors welcomes comments from the public during the time allowed for discussion. You are requested to approach the microphone, state your name for the record, and limit the time used to present your remarks in order that others may be given the opportunity to speak. The normal process on any agenda item is for the chairperson to read the item from the agenda. The board is given an opportunity to comment on the issue and/or place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate, and a roll call vote will follow. The first item, number one, is the approval or amendment of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I motion that we approve the agenda as printed.
And I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Thompson.
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes. Okay, moving on then to item number two, which is the Board of Supervisor Chairman and Vice Chairman selected for 2018. What I thought we would do is discuss this a little bit, which is really not parliamentary correct, but if we discuss this, then we can go in and have our motion correct the first time around. So the floor is open for discussion. Who's going first?
The easiest thing, you know, you've been chair this last year. We've kind of had a little bit of a tendency these last few years for the chair to serve 2 consecutive years. It takes you a while to get your feet underneath you, and then once you get it figured out, it's a shame to change for a second year. So it's, you know, the chair has absolutely no responsibilities different other than signing contracts and running the meeting than anybody else. We run this as a team. It is what it is.
We try to. Yeah.
I would agree. I would say the same. I don't feel I'm quite ready for that slot yet, if I were to be considered, so.
Oh, yeah.
See, every other term, then it's a 3-year term.
Then it's a 3-year.
You know, even when you're running the meetings, you get those little subtle things that if you do something wrong, somebody generally reaches over and touches you on the arm, and that's the sign to, oh, you need to back up here a minute.
Been
and,
there.
There's several times where we will correct each other's
Absolutely.
motions, or you forgot to do this or that, so.
So from your comment, then you would rather not chair or vice chair?
At this point, that's
what
my feeling.
Okay.
I can offer I put all 3 of your names in and we draw too.
We could do that. Yeah.
For some reason, I usually get chairman in charge of vice, so, you know.
Jay has a hat, see, he's offering his hat. Look at us go, solving problems.
Well, the chair would entertain a motion here to get things moving.
I would make a motion to appoint Bill Patton as the chairman for 2018.
And you have one for a vice. We're going to have one motion.
One motion, all right. And I would have Dave Thompson as the vice chairman of the Marshall County Board of Supervisors for 2018.
I will second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. So at this time, we can have discussion again here if you so desire. If not, roll call vote, please.
Thompson.
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes. Okay. Moving on then to the consent agenda. Item number 3, approve minutes from regular session of December 27, 2017. Appoint commencing January 1, 2018, Mental Health Disability Services Advisory Board, Terry Wagner, 3-year term. Item number 5 is Board of Supervisors appointments commencing January 1, yesterday, realized, 2018. Marshall County Landfill Commission, Steve Solosik, Dave Thompson, alternate, 1-year term. B, Area Agency on Aging, Steve Solosik, Bill Patton, alternate, 1-year term. C, Central Iowa Juvenile Detention Commission in Eldora, Dave Thompson, Bill Patton's the alternate, 1-year term. Second Judicial District Department of Correctional Services, Bill Patton, Dave Thompson is alternate, 1-year term. E, Emergency Management Agency, Bill Patton, Dave Thompson, alternate, 1-year term. F, Marshalltown Cluster Decategorization Child Welfare Service Plan, Steve Solosik, Bill Patton, alternate, 1-year term. Medic, Dave Thompson, Bill Patton, alternate, 1-year term. Center Associates Board of Directors, Dave Thompson, Bill Patton, alternate, 1-year term. I, Mid-Iowa Community Action, Steve Solosik, Dave Thompson, and Bill Patton, alternates, 1-year term. J is Regional Workforce Investment Board, Steve Solosik, Dave Thompson, alternate, 1-year term. K, Region 6 Planning Commission, Dave Thompson, Bill Patton, alternate, 1-year term. Then L, Advisory Committee on Intergovernmental Relations, Steve Solosik, Bill Patton, alternate, Dave Thompson, alternate, 1-year term. M, Marshall County Early Childhood, Bill Patton, Steve Solosik is the alternate, 1-year term. N, 28E Board for Central Iowa Community Services, Bill Patton, Dave Thompson, alternate, 1-year term. O, Marshalltown Regional Partnership, Dave Thompson, Bill Patton, alternate, 1-year term. P, Marshall County Joint E911 Service Board, Bill Patton, Dave Thompson, alternate, 1-year term. Moving on then to item number 6, accept Recorder's Quarterly Report 917, incorrectly labeled as on 317 report on the October 17, 2017 Board of Supervisors meeting agenda. Dan, do you have anything else to say other than
that was just a correction, and instead of going back to the prior minutes, we just wanted to note it here so that we had it for the record. So
Okay.
it just had a 3 instead of a 9.
So we're good to go there.
Numbers are exactly the same.
Okay.
Figures didn't change.
Number 7, Marshall County discrimination disclosure. No person shall be excluded from the receipt of services or benefits, and no employee shall be discriminated against on the basis of race, creed, color, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, age, religious or political affiliation, and physical or mental disability, consistent with appreciable state and federal policies and regulations. Any incident of discrimination should be reported. Violation of the non-discrimination policy may result in discriminatory action, which can include reprimand, suspension, or dismissal from employment, and may also subject the violator to administrative or civil liability. Okay, we would take a motion to... go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the consent agenda as printed.
There's a second.
I would second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on these? Went through quite a few today. If not, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Okay, motion is carried. On to item number 8, possible revisions to Marshall County Farm Lease discussion and possible action to revise the Marshall County Farm Lease. Okay, the same thing here. We got a lot of discussion on this. I thought we would talk through this. When we kind of get through this a little bit, let's have a motion then at that time reflecting the changes that we will be making. Steve, you want to start us out? You and I both worked on this, but you spent quite a little time on it.
Oh, a little bit. I guess one of the first things you wanted to make sure of, but that the acres were correct, that they weren't paying for any junk land or anything like that. And it is correct. It's 230 acres is actually farmable.
We're going to change that.
We are. We're going to change the term of the rent to 3 years instead of 2.
Let's talk about the reason for that a little bit.
I guess we felt that with some of the inputs that that have to go on this day and age. To get the most value out of those inputs, lime and micronutrients would be the major things.
And even fertilizer, if it happened to catch a year.
Fertilizer, that's right. If you were in the, in
Carryover.
between the carryover year that you would be involved with. That,
When we go back here a couple of more pages, it talks about paying the tenant back if his years aren't used up. If we go to 3 years,
that will be gone.
Just cross that
That will
out.
no longer be. We removed some of the sentences that involved crop share. I just can't imagine the county going back to crop share at any time in the future. So we just eliminated all of that from the
that's
contract.
on the bottom of page 2.
Yes.
And page 3, same thing.
Yes. Again, anything that involved crop share, we're removing.
Then down on number 4 in page 3, it talks about commercial fertilizer. The tenant would be responsible for 100% then of that, 100% of the lime and trace minerals, and 100% of the herbicides. And on the next side is insecticides, seed cleaning, harvesting or shelling expense, grain drying, grain storage expense, and other. Those are all 100% of the tenant.
That'll all stay the same then.
Next paragraph on the phosphate and potash talks about on oats and beans shall be located or allocated. We're not going to do that then, right?
No, that's not
Let's
necessary.
just cross out that whole paragraph.
What paragraph number was
Okay, that would be the first paragraph on page 4, underneath the 4 through 10. It starts out, phosphate and potash on oats and beans shall be allocated. Okay, since we're going to 3 years, I think we're going to be able to catch the fertilizer usage in a better way. And then that paragraph also talks about 50% of the lime and trace minerals, and that gets messy. So we're cross it all out. Anything left in the rest of that
Nothing
page?
else left on that page.
Page 5.
We're removing items 6 and 7. One of them is delivery of grain, and the other is landlord storage space. Again, that's involving crop share.
So then on number 8, environmental, we change that to 6.
Yes.
Okay. Did we have anything else?
Not on that page.
Page 6, we changed termination of lease from 9 to 7. And number 10, we changed to 8. Then on page 7, all we're doing is changing numbers here. Change 11 to 9, 12 to 10, 13 to 11.
Don't you have 14 and 15 crossed out?
We're going to remove those also.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we go to 16, then that goes to 12. 17 would be 13. 19, did we cross that out?
We crossed out 18 and 19, television and radio and accounting.
20, we changed to 13.
Yes.
And 21 changed to 14,
Yes.
22 to 15, 23 to 16, 24 to 17, 25 to 18. And then 26 is gonna have to go to 19. And then, obviously, the dates will change.
This needed some cleaning up. I know in the past, there had been discussions how many years we could run this, and we kept it at 2. Those were during some of the years that land prices and everything else was jumping very rapidly.
Mhm.
And it probably wouldn't have been an advantageous decision for us to extend it more than 2 years and get tied in. Now we're kind of in the exact opposite situation where those numbers are declining, and we may want to give serious consideration to going 3 years on this. I think it'll give the people that'll be bidding on it
I think
a
it's an
little more
advantage.
advantage coming in, and we may wind up with some additional bidders on this because of that.
Let's do any little things we can to
Yep.
help the growers at this point. It's,
I know
times are good.
when we did the supervisor's portion of the budget this year, we did make adjustments on what we thought bids would come in based upon that. As usual, we're real conservative on revenues and rather not so conservative on expenses as far as our budget goes, but I think what you guys have proposed here is pretty darn good. The other thing, as far as going to 3 years, you checked with the attorney, and the only statutory requirements on how many dollars come in, and in 3 years, we're not even gonna come remotely close to the statutory requirements for what can possibly be brought in and rent in a 3-year period.
Checked with Jennifer downstairs, and she first says, oh, you can't do that. Then she looked it up, and she says, oh, Bill, it has to do with gross dollars. It's $500,000 gross dollars, so that would be our gross lease accumulated until it gets to 500,000. Well, if we do it for 3 years and it's somewhere between $60,000 and $80,000 a year, we're not gonna make it. We're good. So,
If we're knocking up on $500,000 in rent in 3 years, I'll be dancing in the street.
and I'll be with you.
there's an addendum, which is really the last page. We need to cross out 2 in number 4, 2-year lease, and replace that with 3. And that's the only thing that I see. The big change is the going from 2 to 3, and the other big change is taking out all the fluff that was put in there, kind of like it was a boiler deal, and they just used the template, and they put in all the crop share stuff, and I think we've all individually said we're probably never going to go to that. I don't want to sit here some meeting and say it's time
Never
to
say
sell
never.
corn.
No.
I can't do that. No. Okay, then, the chair would entertain a motion for the revision of the Marshall County farm lease.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to, I guess, include or adopt the revisions to the Marshall County farm lease.
To adopt the provisions that we presented.
To be presented.
Okay. Is there a second?
Mr. Chair, I will second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No.
Not on this matter.
Okay, okay. Dinner's at 12,
Okay.
if that's what you were discussing.
I thought you called it supper.
Dinner
back to
dinner is
dinner?
noon. Dinner is 12 o'clock. Supper is at 6.
Okay.
Sometimes it's 8 o'clock.
See, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every meal's a winner. So,
Doesn't matter.
okay.
Okay. Moving on. If there's no further discussion, roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
We'll be
Okay.
playing all week.
Motion is carried.
Not very well.
Now, at our next meeting on the 9th of January, we will have available the packets for any person, I assume a farmer, who would like to put together his bid. And so that will be available by the 9th, it'll be available at the meeting. We can mail it to you and probably get on the website and pull it down also.
Does the grower need to contact one of the supervisors, or what is the format?
They sh-
Packets are available in our office.
So they need to come to us at the supervisor's office and
Yep.
ask for a package?
Just get
Okay.
ahold of Lisa.
Yep.
And then when we do this, it'll be in February, and I'm not pulling the date out of my head very fast. What date is that?
Oh,
I don't have my meetings marked in the new
I
calendar.
can't remember when we're gonna do the farm lease. I think it's
I
the
think it's
third
the
week.
20th.
Yeah, for some reason, the third week in February
Yeah,
sticks in my
That'd be the
head.
20th.
yeah. And you do not have to be present. You can send your bid in. But it does have to be in writing.
I know we've had at least 2 and possibly 3 people already request the packets when they do come out.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably gonna see more interest in this than in the past.
What we've done in the past, Steve, is then we read the bids that were given to us. That's the starting point. It's kind of like in the lawyer's office. When you're invited to come to the lawyer's office, then that bid is the starting bid, and then you bid it out somewhere.
Okay.
So, you do not have to have have sent in a bid. If you want to come in person and bid orally, that's possible too.
Okay.
Did I state that correctly, Mr. Thompson?
Yep.
Okay.
Typically, in the past, what's happened when we open a bid, that's generally been the starting point, and it's, except for 1 year, it's gone up from there.
1 year, it shocked everybody, and that was it.
1 year, I was speechless when I opened the bid and ran the calculator about 3 times before I would say the number to make sure that it was correct, and
That probably will not be the case.
I
at
don't
this
think that's gonna happen
juncture.
again.
Okay. If there's no further discussion on any of the things that we have talked through, we're gonna move on then to item number 9. Public forum is a time set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on this agenda. No action will be taken on any of these topics brought up in the public forum. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever. Any of you have anything to bring forth? Now is the time. If not,
Nothing about the Hawkeyes, they finally won a bowl game.
They spoke for themselves on the
About time.
it's a good deal. It was even a good deal that both Iowa State and Iowa won.
That was neat.
That was good.
Michigan let the Big Ten down, or it'd have been a sweep.
Going on to item number 10, adjournment. The next regular session is January 9, 2018 at 9 a.m. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the county auditor and recorder's office or board of supervisor's office by Thursday, January 4, 2018 at 1 p.m. There being no further business to come before the board, the meeting is adjourned at 9:24.